Well, it's dark 30 and it is quite cold. It's below freezing, and it is time to roll out of this sleeping bag and head on down and check some traps. So I'm going to get out of here, get a cup of tea brewing, and break camp and hit the road, and hopefully we'll have something in our traps. We'll see. Okay, I'm here at the put-in point, and I haven't even gotten my waders or life jacket on or the boat in the water. And already, right across the first little hop here, I can see that I've made a catch. There we go, right there. You can see I've got him snared. I apologize for this shaking so much, but this is zoomed in. 109 is the zoom, digital zoom. There we go, zoomed all the way out. So anyway, it's a beautiful morning. It's warming up nice, sun's out, it's warming up real nice. And I didn't get a chance to shoot a lot of footage yesterday when I was putting the sets in. I had a lot of work to do and I didn't have time to do it. And my boat was full. So I'm going to take the camera along this morning. We'll see what else we caught. And hopefully I'll have to make multiple trips. This has always been a great spot for me. We're in the heart of the Alabama Black Belt. And like I say, there's 8,000 acres of swamp out here, and I probably made a 2-mile radius putting my sets out. I don't have nearly enough traps to cover this area. I don't know if anybody does, but anyway, it's a beautiful area. It's going to be a beautiful morning, so let's get started. Okay, now that I'm over here, he's decided to stay under the water for a little bit, but you can see that tree right there that's got some gnawing on it. Probably below that you can see my 11 gauge wire right there, and this is one of my all-in-one snares where I don't use a snare support, and basically what I do is I build the entire snare onto the end of a number 9 or 11 gauge wire and build a swivel into it. There you can see him right there. So the whole thing is all one unit. I've done another video on that and I'll link to it. But anyway, it works. Basically all I did is I set the snare right next to the tree and smeared a little bit of Clint Locklear's Enrager beaver lure on the tree. And when the beaver swims by to investigate the smell, he swims through it and he is caught. There he is. You can see he's not in any distress. That's a good way to start the morning. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and dispatch him and get him back over to the truck, since I'm just a few feet away from it. And that'll save some space in my boat. Right there. Okay, here's a better shot of this snare set that I use. This is something I can build, or make the set rather, from the inside the boat. You can see basically in my wire I've got an eyelet that I bend. I use a quick clip and I wrap that around the tree and tighten it up. And then the wire is the snare support. And in the end of the wire I put a swivel, I bend a swivel in right there. And then the snare comes out from there. Now the key to this is making the snare loop, the snare wire, long enough so that basically all you have is the loop. And you can see, even though he did a job kinking that cable up, that 11 gauge wire came nowhere close to breaking. These sets will hold a beaver, and normally I use a 9 gauge wire, but I was out when I built this, and so I decided to try 11 gauge. And although it's not as stable, it does work. So anyway, very fast, very easy, nothing else to carry. You roll the whole thing up in a coil and you can pull up to a tree in a boat. You don't even have to get out of the boat and make the set. Works really well. Okay, I had another one of my all-in-one snare sets right here attached to this tree. Right there. And this is with a 9 gauge wire and a quick clip. And I had it blocking this little channel right here. And when I got here, my snare was down. And you can see that wire has been wrapped repeatedly around the tree. And I don't know if you can see it, but that beaver is drowned right there. That water is less than knee deep. You can see my waders right there. I'm less than knee deep. It does not take that much water to drown a beaver if you can get him to wrap around a tree like that. So that self-supporting snare set's really handy. You don't have to get out of the boat to make them. It's all contained in one, and they really do work. And once again, all I did was smear some lure on the side of that tree, and that was that. Well, I've come to the first set that I made that's actually missed, which is kind of a relief, really. I was getting worried. If every set that I put out caught a beaver, I'm in for some serious work. But anyway, you can see my flag. And here's a trench. This is a natural trench that was leading to a castor mound. And I put some fresh leaves up here, built the castor mound up, and put some enrager on it. And you can see it enraged him all right. He flattened it. It's completely flat, completely destroyed. The odd thing is there's my snare. I missed him. You can see that my snare is pulled shut and down in the water. So I didn't have that set right, but that happens sometimes. Now the interesting thing is, because you always need to learn from your mistakes and your misses, you can look and see that there is a trail. I don't know if this is going to show up on camera, but there's a trail right over here to another slide, and he built a massive mound right there. Now I stepped all over it getting out of the boat, but he not only destroyed mine, but he built one 3 or 4 times as big as his. So anyway, I'm gonna pull my flagging tape, pull my snare, and we'll go check some more. Okay, I'm at my next set, and when I pulled in behind these reeds where I'd made the set, I noticed my snare was down, but I couldn't find the beaver. And I'm down here in the boat, paddling up and down the bank, looking at all these holes, and I finally found where I had tied off, and I could smell castor all over the place. So I knew there was a beaver around here somewhere. Well, he was actually up above me on the high bank. There he is, sitting up there high and dry, and I was right under him down here in the boat. Glad it wasn't a bobcat. But basically I had set a snare in front of this den entrance right here, And you can see there's my snare support where I had it in. And that caught him, and he went up on the high bank and got tangled up. You can see I was tied off. Oops. It's kind of muddy here. So I was tied off right there on the tree. And there he is. He hasn't moved a muscle. Just sitting up there, and that's a big beaver too. I'm sorry for all the shaking. I'm down here in the mud and the briars. But yep, there he is. You can see he's not in any distress, and that is a big beaver. That's a big one. But this whole place is just riddled with beavers. It really is. Alright, well, let me dispatch him and on to the next one. Alright, this is what I like to see. A double. Now you can see there's this little path. This is basically a little island, and the beavers have cut a channel all the way around it, and on over there the same thing. And you can see I've got one right here in a snare. He's alive, but he has wrapped himself up to the point that he can hardly move. He's got himself just tangled up. The other one is under the water over in there. You can probably see that muddy spot right in there. We'll see if he'll come up. When I pulled up, they were both on the ground here, up on the bank. One was on that muddy spot right there, and the other one was over there on that spot. So there we go. There, he's getting back up on dry ground. The other one still hadn't shown his face over there. He stayed down for a while. Alright, there's the final tally. I got 7 this morning, and a couple of really big ones. It was definitely a full load for the boat. Between me and 7 beavers and traps on that kayak. It was just a little bit over capacity, you might say. But anyway, now the work starts. But as you can imagine, that's 7 nice pelts, and that is a lot of meat. This is definitely going to fill the freezer, and I'll be done for the year. I don't know how many more trapping videos I'm going to be doing, if any, but I'm going to start focusing on doing some hiking and backpacking, and enjoying the cooler weather while we still have some, now that I've got my freezer full. So anyway, I need to get started. They ain't gonna skin themselves. Okay, let's see, it's I don't know, what is it? It's about 2:30 in the afternoon, and I've been going hard since before dawn, but I'm done. I've got all 7 beaver skinned, and I've got them quartered, and the meat's in the bag. The pelts are bagged, and everything is ready to go, so it's time for lunch. And this is my idea of lunch. Sardines, not just any sardines. If you have never tried the boneless and skinless sardines in olive oil, these things are awesome. I eat 2 cans a day. I love them. Cliff Bar. Everybody likes Cliff Bars, and of course, this is for the long ride home. A monster. One thing I did want to mention was this little skinning knife. This is a Kershaw Skinner. I just got it not too long ago, and I am very impressed with this little knife. It's only got a 2.5-inch blade, but after skinning those 7 beavers, this thing is still sharp. I don't know if it's shaving sharp, but it's sharp enough. And I think I only paid $30 or so for this. I bought it through Walmart.com and did the ship to store, and basically they ship it to your local Walmart and you go in and pick it up, and that way you don't pay postage. It was a great deal. I'm really glad that I got this knife. This was not the knife that I used to cut the feet off, you know, not my rough knife, but for actual skinning. Did a great job. It's very small, fits in the hand very well, points naturally. If you're looking for a skinning knife, I give this one 5 stars so far. So anyway, that's it. It's time to get on home. Having lunch here at a local park, and it's been a long day, but you know, the thing is, it's not so much the fact that I caught beavers or the money that you make from the pelts or anything else. It really comes down to just getting out and doing it, knowing that you can go into the woods, you can go into the swamp, and you can come out with meat, and you can come out with fur. It's a good feeling. Y'all have a good one.